Okay, this next activity is comparing loans, and it's another one of those that would be really good to do with mums and dads at home, because there'll be some parents who don't always know how to work these things out as well, and it's a really useful skill to know when you're borrowing money for housing or cars and things. So this is comparing two different loan amounts and which is going to give you the total smallest repayment, so where you're going to have to pay back the least amount of money, and you're borrowing 60 grand, $60,000. Okay, there are two options. One uses reducible interest, which is a complicated formula, but basically it gives you the table to work that one out. So this one's reducible interest, 12%. So we're looking at the 12% line. It was a $60,000 loan and repayments over 10 years. So it's this amount here is $860.83 for every year, every month, and then doing that for 10 years. So let's work out that one first. So it's 860 and 83 times 12 months equals that, times 10 years equals that amount. So we need to just remember that amount. So you might want to jot that down. 103,299 or 103,300. So 103,300. Okay, we'll just try and remember that. The other calculation is at the top here, and you have to do this one. You haven't got a table to look at. It's just a percentage calculation. Simple interest just means this amount. PA means per year or per annum. So this loan is 6% of this amount every year, and you repay it over 10 years. So first of all, we need to know what 6% per year is of this. So to work out that, we just do 60,000, that's how much you're borrowing, times 0.06. The reason we're timesing it by 0.06 is because that's 6%. 1 is 100%, 0.1 is 10%, 0.06 is 6%. Okay? So that tells us that every year we have this, because it's per annum, every year we have to pay this amount of interest, 3,600. And we're going to have the loan for 10 years. So that's 36,000. And we have to pay back what's called the principal, or the actual loan amount itself. So we have to also pay back 60,000. So the total amount we're paying back is going to be 96,000. So it's slightly cheaper than the reducible interest of 12% option, because I think that was 103,000. So the cheapest one here is the top one. Let's do that a couple more times so you can get the handle of that calculation there. The reducible interest one is this table, remember. It's a 10% rate, here's 10%, repaying back $70,000 loan. So $70,000 loan at 10% is that amount monthly, every month, for 25 years this time. So it's a long loan. So let's look at that. The monthly amount was 636.09. And to work that out, I just read the question. So it says 10%, monthly repayments over 25 years on $70,000 loan, and it's where it all crosses together. So that's the amount I've put in my calculator. What do I multiply it by? Well, it's monthly times 12, because there's 12 months in a year, for 25 years. So times that by 25 years, and write down the total amount you're repaying is 190,800 or 191,000. We'll try and remember 191. Okay. The other option, the simple interest option, is close down my calculator. Is just a general percentage of this amount every year. So the amount that we're borrowing is 70,000. Put that in your calculator, how much you're borrowing, and then how much interest you pay each year. You pay 7% per year. Well, 7% is times 0.07. Again, it's 0.07 because a whole one is 100% of something. If you've got 0.5, you'd have 50% of something. If you've got 0.1, it would be 10%, and we want 7%, so it's 0.07. Okay, and that tells us, if we press equals, how much we pay every year of the loan. We're going to pay 4,900 every year. How many years is this one for? 15 years. So we times that amount that we pay of interest by 15 years, and that tells us the interest we're going to pay. The interest is the amount over and above the loan itself. but we've also got to add back what we borrowed, remember? So we also borrowed 70,000, and that's going to give us 143,500. And I've forgotten what the other one was. I think it was 130 something, so I think the other one was lower. So that's why writing it down is probably a good idea. Oh, I must have remembered it wrongly. So make sure you write down which one is lower once you've calculated them, and it's the one that's lower is the one that's the smallest repayment. Okay? So have a go at that one at home. You might need to watch this video a few times to just remember those different calculations, and it's a great one to do with mums and dads as well, because some of them will be able to explain to you these different terms like monthly and per annum and the different types of interest.